And we are live here, Fatboy FadeAway Sports, episode 193. We are here with you on September 29th, 2024. The last day, Casey, for the Oakland A's, as the Oakland A's. Yeah, they're up in Seattle, though. And so we're going to get into our full day at the Coliseum. We also have Tyler trying to I want to get his thoughts on from the other fan base here. It was weird driving in, getting a lot of phone calls coming into like radio stations, but it's like, hey, I'm a Giants fan. So I'm kind of curious what Tyler's thoughts with all that is. And then Brian, of course, we have many memories, as we've talked about on the show, of going to games. So we'll kind of put a damp, not just for the A's there, but as well, but also for the Coliseum itself. It's probably the last time a lot of us will ever go there. I think it's probably the last time I'll ever go. I don't see myself going to the soccer games out there with it. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. We'll get into the football side of it. Brian's NBA fact of the week. Looking forward to that as well. How we doing out there, Tyler McGurk?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about this topic. I know how sad it is for you guys, and it's sad for me as well. But not on the same level, obviously. And we get a good slate of football today. Hopefully, both our fan bases can get a dub. Yeah, so I'm doing well.
I think both. I think our people below us here they want each other to lose. So we'll get into the Brian Johnson. How are we doing out there? My big game today. How are we feeling? Patriots.
I'm feeling very confident. We're getting Debo back a week early, and it's feeling good right now.
Debo, I got
stop the run.
I think it feels like a blowout today.
All right, I like it. Adam probably hoping that he can at least stay within. Like, can he enjoy the game till the second quarter? Is probably what he's thinking. Can he enjoy the game till the second quarter, or do you guys kill him early? Casey, what's up, man? How we doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's probably last time I'll be rocking this beanie. It might just go in the fireplace this Christmas, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing very good. You gave me a call. I'm happy that you gave me. I set the alarm like 4 times, stayed up till like 3 in the morning writing some A stuff, and a little tired, but I was pretty stoked waiting for this one, and I can't wait for the Ravens.
Man, does anybody need an alarm clock more for Christmas than Casey? We need a productive alarm clock that sets off a siren for your whole neighborhood. That's what you need.
Sleep heavy.
You're a sleep hazard. Yeah, you would be a sleep hazard. Me and you both with it. All right, let's get into it. A's talk here with it. Let's put the Coliseum to bed. Quite the day. Getting ready for the game. There's different moments of it kind of hitting like different emotions along the way. And I was trying to explain it to certain people. I work with 16 women that are teachers, and a few of them that actually are fans of the A's, so they did understand it a little bit more. But it is kind of weird to some people. Like, yeah, it is kind of sad. Like, there is like this part of you that's like is dying. It's the childhood, it's your memories, it's the future memories that you could create that are kind of those are the ones that you're thinking about. So then you think about people that aren't with you as well, and like the time you spent there with them. And then you just kind of go through all those thoughts of it. And then you're also thinking just from a fan, like that sucks. The team I like the most is not a team I can really root for. And it doesn't really feel the same, like even now as the Raiders, they're in Vegas, but there's no soul with that place. Like you don't feel that the same. Like I don't know. Or I don't when it doesn't come across TV the same way as that. And then, so it's going to take a while for it when it gets to Vegas for that to be created again too. It's going to take a long time. So we'll see what happens with it, but it was a weird day yesterday or the other day with it. Casey, what was your kind of initial thoughts with it?
A lot to digest. Just the whole trip. Me, you, Dad, your 2 children. Kind of brought back full circle. My first time I ever skipped school was 5th grade when I was 11 years old. My dad took me to the Monday Night Football game to the Coliseum, which was my first game ever there. I know it's the Raiders game, but your son, Derek, 5th grade, 11 years old, skipping school, going to an A's game. It was just like, oh, man, it's like we'll never be able to skip school. Like, they won't understand. I mean, they go to the Giants, but this is a memory. They'll be like, I got to go do this with my dad, my uncle, and, I call him Poppy. And it was just bittersweet, man. A lot of memories that just, I don't even think they'll fully grasp, but they'll understand, be like, this was with my dad. And, it's just something they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
like I said, or I got the whole Bart thing driven. This is like the full, like I said, Brian, we tried to give him the full Oakland experience. We picked it up at El Cerrito. We got the cussing on the Bart station. We got all the good stuff. We have making the trip across the Bart where you're like, how in God's name is this stuff allowed to be sold right in front of local police officers? But it is your walk. It's the walk we've always done with it. Tyler, what was your kind of initial thoughts as like a Giants fan? There were so many calling into Bay Area stations that morning saying like, I mean, it's still a Bay Area place where you guys at least went like a lot. So it's not even like the team. I'm thinking you probably went there. I don't know, maybe for a concert, but a lot of people older than us always thought of those things. And I think you said your dad took Kyle and right, Kyle's son.
Kyle and Connor on Thursday night or Wednesday night.
So it obviously meant enough for even him to go.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was a big A's fan. I mean, I think he preferred the Giants, but he liked both teams. He said 1989 was tough on him. For me personally, I've never rooted for the A's. I'm to be honest.
Yeah, I know you have it.
It feels. I said this on Twitter. My best friend, had lost a best friend, and I knew that best friend. Like, I wasn't best friends with him, and that's how it feels. Like, my best friend's hurting. And that sucks. And it sucks for the whole day. That whole fan base losing the team. It was a fun rivalry. And I brought it up on past podcasts. Just talking crap in school to the A's fan, or the other Giants fan who also is an A's. I don't know. It's just you lose something. And it's not good for the Bay Area. It's not good for the city of Oakland. And it's not good for baseball. So, it just sucks.
I think that's the thing. And that I noticed yesterday at the game was the fan base was there. It just never, and I know people give them a lot. Some people would ask me yesterday, "Oh, did they win?" I was like, in my head, I was like, literally the last thought of my mind yesterday about that. I mean, yes, of course I wanted to win, but it wasn't even the whole point of going to the game yesterday. And people were like, well, if they would have had more people there like that, they would have won more games. But Brian, as me and you know, they would never keep their players. And so I think that's the part of the people don't realize from afar that we're actually into the day-to-day part of the A's is you can only put so much, if the people that are running the team aren't trying to consistently win and they're not doing things to consistently make your fan base want to show up all the time and give them a better baseball experience. I don't know. I just feel like that was the part the ownership was always doing since John Fisher bought it over. And I mean, Brian, that's why we have so many different jerseys of these guys and cards is they never kept their players.
Yeah. I mean, I made the mistake of, getting a Zito authentic jersey right before he ended up going to the Giants. I have Rich Harden. I got Coco Chris. I mean, I have so many shirts, and it's just players that he couldn't keep, and it's just disappointing because you imagine if they could have kept that 2001 team. I mean, I feel like they'd eventually win a World Series because they're just too good.
Man, that team was stacked too. They really, I mean, the trades they made for those guys, that was actually a legit team. They just needed a little bit more pitching to finish that one off. And that was always the problem I had with them. This is kind of our video. It's kind of making the BART station here, kind of getting across into the stadium. You hear the band in the background here. Yeah, we got the music. We got the music blaring there. We have a whole band just going off with it. So that was fun yesterday doing that. That was kind of what was it? Not Jesse, Jason chiming in there is only one walk like that along the way with it. So those were some of the memories that we will miss with it for sure along the way. But you're right. Back to that point, they just never were able to keep their team together. And when they can't do that, I mean, that was it makes you give up, Tyler. And that's the difference. It's I know the Giants don't necessarily, I mean, you had to understand that from afar, at least. It's this guy never kept A's. You know what I mean? As an A's fan, that was the hardest part is they never kept these guys. And I think, don't you understand why A's fans stopped showing up in that sense?
Yeah. I mean, especially these last 6 years, they even went even further to
when the
galvanized the fan base, and they jacked up season ticket prices this year. After they dump all their salary, I understand why they didn't show up. I mean, they had back-to-back MVPs in Giambi and Tejada, and both of them are gone within 2 years of winning the MVP. It's tough. It would be a tough road to hoe. I would understand it wholeheartedly.
I want to clarify something, Darren. You keep saying yesterday. It was Not yesterday. I know it feels like it was yesterday.
Thursday.
Yeah. I just
You're
want
right.
to
Did they play One Good Looking Boy? Because that you got to play that before you go.
Brian, I was actually very they really didn't do much. Casey, and you might disagree, but there wasn't like there was the only players from the past that came out were I know like there was a lot that came out like a month ago and stuff like that, which isn't that so I wasn't expecting it given the A's organization as well. But they had only Henderson and Stewart. Henderson made some interesting comments. Only Ricky could make as well. And you have Dave Stewart, and then Barry Zito did the national anthem. And so you had those things, Brian, your face. So Barry
I
Zito
just remember, Adam coming to a game with us, and they played the One Good Looking Boy song, and he gives a weird look, and he says, "Only in Oakland."
I do remember that song. They would do like the past of the video. You're right. They didn't do that one. They didn't do anything. They just had like the lady who the lady that would go between the seats like all the time and like interview. I forget her name, but she said something in the 8th inning. They did something a little bit in the 7th inning. They had some like fan on in like the 3rd inning, but it wasn't like any video messages or anything like that. It was pretty just like Brett Rooker said. If you would go to the Coliseum, there's seats and a place to watch a game. And Tyler, that is the one part that I think sports in general, though, I did realize that being at the game yesterday. I was like, I don't know how many ballparks you do show up where like you do feel like you're the middle class and you have an accessible spot to usually go to a game and somewhat afford it. And you're just kind of there for the game a little bit. There is really, instead of paying like $500 for 4 people, if you get out with food and parking, that's potentially what you're paying. It is different. Like there isn't really that. Sports is getting to that point a little bit everywhere. So I did realize that leaving.
Yeah, like we've complained about basketball games, playing music in the middle of the games, and like they try and like entertain you and all this. Like going to an Oakland game is literally like go into a parking structure and be like, all right, I'm gonna watch a baseball game. Like that's what you're doing. You're parking, you're going, you're watching the game, and there was something special about it. And they kept the field look real nice. Like those groundkeepers, I don't know how they kept it so nice with John Fisher as an owner. It seems like the only thing the A's took pride in because it always looked clean after the Raiders left, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just are going to a parking structure to watch a game. And there's some sort of like cool thing about that. Like your whole focus is the baseball game, and it's not all these other things being thrown at you in this TikTok world we live in.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I want to kind of give Casey your thought on this one. What do you think of like? I think the Bay Area is losing something. Like I said, Tyler's been there. He's an A's fan, but he's been there. I would say at least 10 plus times in his life.
Oh yeah,
easily. I bet 20 if you probably thought about it from Little League days to like. It's where you caught a foul ball, believe it or not. It's like random little things that you did have that's there. So it does have a connection throughout the whole Bay Area, not just the East Bay. I mean, we live down here in the north, the north end of it, and we still all have a connection to that stuff. So it is kind of funny how one building that's what was there for 57 years. 58 years is now just, you can tell that's why like you saw so many grandparents there. Your dad would like everybody kind of was like, well, it is kind of a spot we all spend a lot of time or whatever like that. So it was really interesting that it's not just the A's, it's actually just a Bay Area thing, people. And I think that's why you got a lot of phone calls from Giants fans and like that. Like it was, they had been to the games 20 plus times too. You know what I mean? That's the thing is like, it's not like they just went to Giants games mostly. So that's what it is. And then, the team's not going to be back. So it's a different feeling in terms of that regard. So I don't know. Case, what do you think of that? I mean, I even put Oracle into that. Like Oakland sports are like, even going to a Warriors game there was different. So I don't know. That's what I mean with that whole area is not there anymore.
Yeah. I mean, to touch on they didn't do much. I will say they did get if you're going to get the right people to do the last pitches, it's going to be Dave Stewart and Ricky Anderson, since they're born and raised in Oakland, played, high school, little league ball growing up in Oakland. Bip Roberts and Brody Brazil, who do the pre-game and post-game, were, East Bay guys. And that was a tough watch, just as a fan, where I was there and emotional. And I felt the same way. I mean, during the game, yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of, I would say, like, just remembrance, I would say. But it almost felt like they just wanted to be done and over with, in a sense. John Fisher, I'm not really going to go too much. Maybe in a little bit I did write some things about him.
Try to watch the F word today.
individually.
The boys got introduced to that chant. The boys got
Did they join along?
We did. They watch gracefully. They watch gracefully.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand when they say, the Warriors are in San Francisco. It's not a relocation. Yeah, it is.
It's definitely a relocation.
It's not the same. It's not the same parking lot that you show up in. It doesn't have the same marijuana smell. It doesn't have the same cigarette smoke. It doesn't have the aroma of the sewage. Like, it doesn't have and Tyler probably could.
The hot dogs?
Tyler could probably attest to this better than most people because he's such a big diehard Giants and San Francisco fan. Is when you show up to that Coliseum, it is so much different than what the Giants have to offer. And not being negative or worse, it's just different. There's just a different type of people. It's blue-collar workers. It's not the suit and ties. And I'm not saying that the Giants are all like that. It's just Oakland brings out elements that I think you're just comfortable being a college kid, a high school. Like, you almost looking forward to it because you can bend the rules. You can get in trouble, and they're not going to punish you to the extreme where, hey, we don't have to wait for a guy to hold a sign to say, please wait till the next pitch to go down the stairs. There's none of that. It's just like you respect the game as it's being played. And I think that's one of the true things that people also kind of forget about.
I think that kind of gets to my point with it, Tyler, was like, I think having the old stadium, just that's what it provided. When the Giants got the new one, it was obviously going to bring in more people buying tickets, giving tickets away instead of just showing up to the game watching. I think that's probably the biggest difference. But I mean, obviously, you guys, Giants have good fans. Go ahead, Brian, then we'll let Tyler finish it up.
I have a great memory from the '92 ALCS. I had to go to school. It was like a day game. They were playing during the day, game 2. And I just said, forget it. And like, they went to recess. I went back home because I was going to San Miguel. It was just probably the worst mistake because I didn't have a key to get in the house. And it was like a neighbor was being nosy. So she kind of told my parents on me, but
Ryan, I like that story.
Cool.
To watch the A's game, I can respect that. I think that's I think maybe me and you did that for a JC class here or there. Maybe in the postseason back in the day, we might have. Brian, we won't tell stories there. Maybe we have done that back in the day. What do you think, T? What I would just kind of finishing up with, like, your final thoughts with that.
I mean, as far as Casey was mentioning, the A's and Giants games be different. Absolutely, they're way different. Like, there's big business being invested into that stadium and around that area, because if you look at that area before that Giants came out, it was a dump. It was worse. It was like the worst part of San Francisco, and it's all got fixed up. People are investing all this money. All this money's getting put into it, and that brings out a different type of fan. It's not the diehard fan, and that's why there's more than 8,000 of them there, because. Not to like take a shot, but that just like what the reality was. There was no money going into Oakland, so people weren't going to go there as much unless you're a diehard fan, which why you had this special fan base of people when you went to an A's game that was different than what's at a Giants game now. There's still the same type of fans in San Francisco that love baseball and love the Giants, obviously, but there's just more business and more people who are there for business more than baseball.
There is, like, I mean, the Bay Area fans are the same. Like, we know we're all kind of like I said, you like the Giants, I like the A's, but we all grew up in the same area. You know, plenty of people that are A's fans, other than me and Casey. Casey, you want to jump off real quick and then jump back on? I think your phone's doing that weird thing. But I was going to show this part real quick. This was like kind of like the last little chant that they had like going in. This will be kind of one of my. This is like always Brian the playoff type thing with you'd hear this one. It was good when you had like it loud. It had that buzz in the air. Where's Casey at?
Ric Flair is in the building.
Ric Flair. So that was kind of a fun little part going in there. You knew in a big game you were getting those chants in the hallway. That was always kind of a little. You would always get a few. Again, the Raiders' little chants along the way too. We kept getting a few of those along the way too. So I don't know. I don't know what's next for A's fans though. I know some are like my guy Jason, where he's like, basically dead to them in a sense. And I won't go to a Sacramento game. I don't think I won't be going either to a Sacramento game. I don't see how I can kind of not root for the other team, but I don't for the A's eventually. But it definitely will be weird to see them next year, like in Sacramento. For me, I think I don't know how to. I think for me, I would almost prefer them to stay in Sacramento than go to Las Vegas, just from the sense of it would still kind of suck that they took them out of a spot, but at least Sacramento still feels, I don't know, in the area, I would say. And I don't know, like it doesn't even mean I'd go a little bit, but it does feel like it's a little bit more in the area than it would be especially if they somehow could turn it around and make a good team there. I don't know if they could eventually do that and build an MLB stadium, but once they go to Vegas, that's where to me it feels like it's a little bit more of a disconnect. It's more than just it's just kind of rooting for the color in a sense. That's what it feels like because of again, for me, it's not the same crowd. It's a totally different state at that point. And so we're going to Vegas. So for me, that will be a big disconnect. So it'll be interesting what the fan base, how that turns into and what that looks like in Sacramento next year. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with them. And like, can they get free agents? I doubt it. I don't know. I mean, who's gonna? I don't know. So we'll see what happens with there. And then I just don't believe that he'll spend money. I just don't believe it, Tyler.
There's no way he's spending money. You left to make more money, not to spend money.
Who's the greatest catcher in A's history? Is it Steinbach? It's got to be Terry. Yeah. If we're going to Oakland,
Steinbach.
And then McGuire is McGuire or Giambi?
I don't know. Sal Fasano had the best moment as the A's catcher in my Oakland A's history. He hit the biggest bomb I've ever seen.
Ray Fosse's got to be up there.
Ray would have been a tough day for Ray yesterday. Ray would have been in tears yesterday, or Casey Thursday. Sorry. Yeah. So we had that. First base, Giambi, McGuire. Is it McGuire? Wins? It's probably got to be McGuire. I mean, Giambi did get the MVP.
Yeah, I had Giambi on my list.
I feel like for every one that you say seriously, I should backfire with Derek Barton. Like, just cynical ones that are just like, yeah, we gave him up. That's who we got.
Okay, Casey didn't remember this? It wasn't the first baseman, Brian, for the A's or Dan Johnson or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casey Dan Johnson. He was like a first baseman.
He is a real person then.
He was supposed to be like the best first baseman ever, but he just never lived up to that hype.
It was I think I would go. I think you got to go Big Mac, but Giambi, he's up there. One of my favorite A's players. There with the second base. Mikey Aiyuk with Mike.
I gotta go Mark Ellis.
I went Marcus Scudero for Giants perception.
I'm going.
Come on, Scooby Poos. Come on.
Mark Ellis was mine.
Yeah. I wish they would have kept Ray Durham. I think he could have been like right up that list. So I think when they traded Ray, shortstop. Is it Campaneris? He has the all-time hits there, but
Crosby.
Bobby did get Rookie of the Year. That is a big deal. I will admit that. That's a big deal.
Marcus Semien.
I gotta go with Ben Grieve. Come on,
Ben Grieve.
He plays shortstop.
Are we going Tejada? I gotta go Tejada.
I say Marcus Semien.
And then Marcus Semien. He's not a bad call, but I can't go over Tejada with it. He could have won MVP a few times. He was top 3 a couple times, but no chance of getting that one. All right, Semien, I could see that. Maybe I'm just missing that a little bit more. Third base is probably Sal Bando if you're a 70s guy, because I think he has the second.
Eric Chavez.
I think Bando actually had the second best WAR in Oakland A's history. I think that's what he has. So he is not a bum. It sounds like back at the show.
Hey, at least one Sal made the list.
Well, yeah, exactly. We're gonna keep Sal out there over Eric. Eric Chavez, he struck out too many times, Brian, against lefty sliders for me to put him on the list.
And he was the one player that the A's actually extended, which was kind of weird.
He ended up. He's the all-time. McGuire has the all-time home runs for Oakland with 363. Canseco or Jackson has 269. Canseco 254, and then Eric Chavez does have 230. He's the most there for A's there with it. So, which is a pretty good amount. But one of the Gold Gloves. Left field is Henderson, obviously. Center field is it Dave Henderson? We got to go Dave.
Yeah,
Dave
Dave Henderson.
We got to get.
I think we got to go Coco Crisp. Come on.
Oh, I like it. That's not a bad little call there, little Coco. How about Chris Davis?
Should have saved that fly ball.
Chris Davis for left field. Anybody? No. What we got to do? And
246 with 40 jacks every year.
You got to go Canseco, right? Right field. He's probably the right fielder.
No, Reggie.
Reggie. Okay. So you got to go
Or
Reggie
Ben
with that.
Grieve.
Then was Jose the DH? Can we put him at DH at least? Can we put
Jose did.
we put Jose at DH. I think we got to put him.
You wouldn't put him out there for his outfield skills.
No, you would not. Okay, so if Eckersley was the best closer, I think everybody would agree there. Who would be the second guy you'd have to pick? Like out of the modern era? Because I think like Catfish Hunter and Fingers would be there.
You got to go Jason Isringhausen, in my opinion.
He was there so little, though. I don't know. That's the only problem. He was there. I don't know. I guess every closer was there so little.
Yeah, it's like a new closer every year.
They went through them all. I mean, they had Houston Street. That was one for there for a little bit.
Yeah, they never. Balfour, he had the great like kind of moment there.
And then the guy that went to the Red Sox and ended up winning a championship with that.
Oh, Keith Folk.
Yeah.
Yep. Keith Folk.
I might
me and Brian hate Keith Folk. Damn it.
I might give it to Mason Miller just on pure stuff.
He probably will have the best of Andrew
And then,
Bailey.
who do you got as best manager?
A new Makatuda?
Or Connie Mack?
I think you got to go Tony La Russa. Come on.
You got to go Tony La Russa.
Not that drunk.
What about Connie Mack? No Connie?
Connie Mack, he with Philadelphia.
Yeah, he was waiting for it.
Bob Garrett. Bob Garrett gets some love out there.
Well, you know who's actually left off the list? A lot of people forget.
What about Casey Martin? Casey.
What about Jimmy Fox?
It's again Philadelphia. We can't do Philadelphia. How about Bob Melvin?
Joe DiMaggio, manager in Oakland.
Say that again.
Count all their championships.
Yeah, we get those Minneapolis ones. Bob Melvin. What'd you say, Tyler? You got the.
Was Joe DiMaggio the manager in Oakland?
He was when they first came back in 1968. He was the manager that they had with it. Do you think they stay in Sacramento, Brian, or do you think they get to Vegas?
I don't know. Everything I've been hearing from Vegas is just negative. Nobody wants them over there. They just don't want to spend the tax dollars to build another stadium. You know?
They got it funded, but I guess they're getting a little push from the teachers union. They're with it. They're probably like, it'd be nice to get paid a little more. Casey, what do you got for it? Did they actually make it? If just real quick, did they make it to Vegas or they stay in Sacramento?
Yeah, I think they're staying in Sacramento.
That would be crazy if that's where they end up there.
Yeah, I do.
The dream is dead. We're pivoting. We're just staying here now. We're just staying here. Oh man, what a crap show that would turn into. Somebody yesterday was comparing it to what was the Dodgers' old owner, Tyler, before they got the new group. Remember, he was causing MLB a lot of.
What was his name?
It was he
was a mess.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying it's starting to get into that situation a little bit, where it's starting to get bad for bad. It's not good business for other MLB owners, basically. So I don't know. We'll see if they have 3 years there guaranteed, and then a 4th year option. So if they get to that 4th year option. And something, I don't know. I'm just saying, there's a lot to.
I think if they made the playoffs, they couldn't even host a playoff game. That's what's so bad about it.
Exactly. Good.
I think Oakland rises from the dead and they come back. I think they sell after 4 years. Fisher's going to know he's not going to get a stadium. That's what I think will end up happening.
My dad's like, well, you do have to remember, Daren, the Raiders did come back. I was like, well, I guess you're right. There is maybe a part where there is. Oakland is this weird area where they somehow they change things around. I don't know from they're able to figure it out, but we'll see what happens there with it. But yeah, that was we'll see what happens. Final thoughts there with it. If they make it, it was kind of weird. If you kind of pivot real quick to your Giants, it is kind of fitting that Matt Chapman, a A's player that the A's sold off, did win the Willy Mac Award for the Giants this week. Having a great year. It is fitting that he ends up the Willy Mac Award winner for you guys as well. No chance. It looks like you're not going to finish. You have a chance to finish 500 today, right? If you win, so the definition of mediocrity, Tyler. Congratulations on that.
We own that mediocrity award since 2017. It's been fun. It's been a fun run. Farhans supposedly might get fired though. That's the news.
Does Posey take over?
Hopefully Posey takes over.
Whoa.
He seems to have a better communication skills than Farhan and getting these deals done. You got Boris to get a deal done before the end of the season. That's unheard of. So yeah, I'd like Posey to take over for Farhan.
Wasn't Boris Posey's agent? I feel like he was. It wasn't.
I don't think so.
That was. If he was, that would probably help. That would probably help if he's able to have that. So yeah, that's an example of it. And then these, obviously you have that with the Giants finishing 81 and 81. So all right, that was our little A stuff there with it. Yeah, Case, go ahead.
Do you mind if I give my little thing, man? I had something to say, like about the whole A's. We'll put a bow on it, and we can go football wherever you guys want on it.
We'll go football after your little thing here is Tyler.
It was Jeff Barry who was Posey's agent. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you good. I just, I stayed up and I was just where you got to get stuff off your chest as a man. You're like, all right, let's just get this done and over with. Like I said, we burning hats. We're just gonna throw them. No, I ain't gonna do that. But
spend good money on that.
I just want to get it done and over with, and just forget about the A's. It's just one of those things. We're on to the Raiders. We're on to the NFL. We're on to the baseball playoffs, and just put a bow on this thing.
So, and WNBA, right, Casey? WNBA.
Out of the WNBA. Yeah. It's going to be a tough watch, but I will kick in for the Mystics, the New York Liberty, and, should be a good thing. But, I thought about it, man. It's like, the Oakland A's fans and all of Oakland, like, as much as people want to give us grief, should be celebrated, man. I mean, I felt like it was like the Die Hard movie with Bruce Willis. It was just like, as soon as we got in there, it was just like, it put us, like, it was like, it lived out in real life, man. Like, we kept telling you the truth, like, throughout the movie, like, it was just like, nah, like, what's really going on? No one gonna believe us. It's like, this is what's happening. It's like, nah, you don't understand the full ramifications of what's actually going on here. And it's like, we walking through glass, with bare feet, knowing the pain, but we keep walking. We keep making that, that stroll to the park. We know what's gonna happen, no matter what. We just got to keep walking. And the whole time, it wasn't even a divorce. It wasn't a separation. It was just kind of like, the back in my day was, if you don't leave, we're going to burn it down. And that's pretty much what John Fisher wanted to do, was just wait for us to leave. And I didn't see anyone there in that stadium that was not passionate about where I want to stay here. This is my home. This is Oakland. We're rooted. Like, this is where we grew up. This is our team. You can never take that away from us. Yet somehow John Fisher, with a smile and a smirk, was just waiting outside, just watching that thing burn down. Didn't show up, but you could see him from far aside. You just knew he was there, just smiling with his little stupid-ass smirk that he's got. And it was just one of those things where it was, Mark Kotze hit it best. Let's hear that one great chant one more time, and it just roared throughout the whole or the Coliseum. It was "Let's go Oakland." It was just the passion, the tears, the blood, sweat, and tears, the blue collar workers that show up every single time for these fans or for these players. And it got a little bit harder towards the end, but who was there at the end? The fans. The fans were there. I didn't know John Fisher, no Dave Kaval. It wasn't about them. It was about Oakland. It was about us. It was about the players. And the only thing that, unfortunately, John Fisher and the A's had in common was the yellow, the urinal, the disdain, the nothing that they cared about. It is just cowardly. And that's the thing. It's just like, the one thing I thought about John Fisher is the only thing he cared about, which is fittingly, is Fisher and Price. That's all it was Fisher and Price. All he cared about was the money. And at the end of 57 years in Oakland, all he did is pretty much disappear on us. And now I take it kind of to a similar thing with the WNBA. You know, as people talk about the racism and the misogyny and the homophobic slurs and, you know, everything that an individual goes on a day-to-day basis in life is a unique situation. But this is a city, man. This isn't just one person. You're affecting lives like throughout a county, throughout a state. And that's the one thing that I don't think people truly understand is people have to relocate. People have to get new jobs. This isn't something that, you know, you take for a one-off. This is something that your family, like all the rights of the city that, you know, we championed. Like this is what we did. We were successful. We thrived. We persevered. When we were poor and you hope your friend would lose and you would gain, it's like, no, like you want to bring your friends up, man. You want to make them powerful. You don't want to make them worse. You don't want to make them enemies. And for me, it was just, you know, you got 46,000 people showed up. More than 46,000 people showed up. And, you know, the only two people that didn't was John Fisher and Dave Cavill.
Well, nobody wants the murderer at the funeral.
I always thought, you know, if as a man, you have your word and your balls. And at the end of the day, he didn't have either. And unfortunately, the only thing that we ain't going to have no more is baseball. So, John Fisher, he ain't a fan. He's just a fanboy. So,
we'll see what he does with it.
Send off.
Yep. No, I appreciate that. That's a good lot to take in there. Went a lot so with it, but appreciate your final thoughts on it. Tyler, Niners, as we transition out of MLB, what do you make of the Niners this week against the Patriots? Last week, we thought they were going to bounce back. They did not against the Rams. There were a few reasons why. You and Brian did a short little video on it last week to kind of explain it. It sounds like you do have the Niners winning this week, though, against the Patriots.
I mean, if they lose this week, we're in a world of hurt. I mean, the Patriots do things that the Niners struggle against, and that's run the ball. The Niners will have to stop the Ramondre Stevens. I think they can do that. I think this is one of those games where, like, oh, the Niners defense is back. I still don't believe in this defense. I don't. Fred Warner's good. Bosa's good. Outside of that, it's pretty bad everywhere. Like the corner and Lenore's good. The safeties can't guard anybody. Ward's hurt. He has to be because he's just getting beat every time they throw at him. So I don't trust this defense going forward until they've proven otherwise. This game's not going to do anything for me. The offense is awesome. Purdy is special. I don't worry about the offense at all. I don't care who's in, who's out. Debo's coming back. Kittle's coming back. Everyone's coming back, so they should be great. The Patriots suck. Sorry, Adam. But so I think the Niners will handle the Patriots like easily today. It might be a little low scoring because of how few possessions the Niners get, but they'll be scoring every time they get the ball.
Brian, easy win today. Is this a blowout finally?
Yeah. I'm gonna make a guarantee right now. I'm gonna be like Jim Fossil. I'm putting all my chips on the table. As I guarantee there's gonna be a 3-game win streak ahead, and I can guarantee the Niners will be 4-2 going into that big Chiefs matchup. They're gonna beat the Patriots. They're gonna beat Arizona. They're gonna beat Seattle.
Are you both?
I'm guaranteeing it right now.
Were you a little concerned? Were you a little concerned when you saw CMC was in Germany getting the knee checked out over there? That has to be a little concerning, gentlemen.
But I mean, the good news came out today that he could be ready by early November. So they're ramping up his rehab. So I consider it good news, not bad news, in my opinion.
Tyler, do you feel the same way?
No, not at all. You have an arthritic. You have an arthritic.
Of course, Tyler has to be the negative guy.
I kind of feel the same way though. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like when I hear he goes to Germany.
Arthritic Achilles is not good news in any way, shape, or form. It's gonna tear at some point. You just hope it's after the season. I don't know. That's just what seems to happen every time this happens. So
Tyler,
I don't believe it's a good thing.
Bringing the down. You're come.
I just tell you how I feel, and that's all I can do. Is just tell you what I think is good and bad, and here we are. I don't think it's good. I think Jordan Mason's a more than capable backup. I'd rather sit the CMC as long as we can, as long as we're winning games. If we're losing, obviously he's gonna have to come back and play on it. But I'd rather sit him and just keep him at the end of the year if that is a possibility.
Tyler or Casey, you got a question for these guys on the Niners today?
How much do you really think that they're missing? Like, I don't know, like the whole camaraderie like of the I feel like you guys are distant this year more than you've ever been. I feel like the free agent signing came in late. You guys just seem off. I don't see the same 49ers that I've seen the last 4 years. Like, what do you think is going on? I don't think the locker room's like what it used to be.
I think missing Dre Greenlaw hurts, and I think the defense just isn't the same as it has been the last 4 years. So it makes everything look more difficult. Like if we were getting any stops in the second half, we win that game. We didn't get one stop after the first quarter. The Rams just marched up and down the field. So I think that I don't think it's a team thing. I think the team gets along fine. Obviously, we had red short gate this week, which was completely overblown in my opinion. But it's Aiyuk. He held out and he's stripping on the field, so it's not a good look. But I don't think it's a big deal. I do think if the defense played better, this whole thing would look a lot different. And Greenlaw is a big part of that, him being hurt.
I mean, I think that's the thing. That's a good question, Case, too. I think that the chemistry does seem a little bit off. It doesn't mean that it won't get back together because you see it plenty of times, Brian, like when you always bring back 2021, where you guys kind of turned it on late in the season. That almost benefited you in some ways. So that could happen. That very easily can happen again. And I think that is possible. I think you have the 3 wins because if let's say you guys do go 1-2 these next couple of weeks, your schedule gets a lot harder. It's not like I'm not saying you can't win those games later in the season, but you'll probably look back at this part of the schedule and be like, those were the games we needed to win. Like, so that's going to be the tricky part for going forward. So they got to figure it out. Today you cannot lose to the Patriots. It just cannot happen. It just cannot happen. It cannot.
No, the Niners are going to win today. As much as I give Brian, me and him joke around all the time, the Niners will win.
Blowout?
I'm not going to say a blowout.
Like 14 plus.
No. I probably anywhere from, I'd say that 6 to 7, somewhere around there.
Oh, a little Drake May, a little chance he comes in, a little chance to win. Brian, what's your prediction?
I'm going to say I think we put up 30 plus points. I'm going to say 34-10.
34-10. Tyler, are you keeping your same from the other night, or are you going to change it up a little bit?
I don't even know what I said the other night, to be honest. I have them winning 24-10.
Tyler, I think you said you're so good looking.
24-10. I like it. So that's a blowout. I mean, maybe they get a late touchdown or something like that.
I don't think it's a blowout, though. I think it's a
10 points. That's a good
possession game, and then we kick a field goal with a minute left, and we're up 10.
The one thing I'll be watching for is I'll be very concerned. The Patriots don't pass the ball much, but I'll be concerned if the Niners secondary has any trouble in this game. So that would be a huge red flag if they have any trouble against this.
If we can't stop the run, I'll be.
I think it's time to turn the tables on the Raiders. Let's talk about that pathetic loss last week. Come on,
Brian,
it didn't get much worse than that. Like, come on, let's be real.
Well, it was a pathetic loss. I'm talking the gridiron. I slammed my hand on the table. I went skip on everybody.
How did the Niners lose to the Rams?
The same way.
But you played the Panthers. They're
it's
the worst team in the
letdown.
league.
We suck. What do you mean? Have you not been following the Raiders organization for 24 years? I mean, this is what they do. I mean, that's why if they won today, I wouldn't be like shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked, but I wouldn't be shocked. It's like then I would expect them to lose again after that. Like if they just
without Davonte or Max Crosby, you're gonna lose. Let's be
Crosby
real.
Officially out.
I mean, he's considered doubtful, so he's not playing.
That's what I'm saying. They could win today, Brian. I still believe they could win. Minshew is that type of quarterback.
Oh God. I take it from that Steelers guy that came on talking the gridiron. He ripped on you guys signing him, and I agree with that. Like you could have gotten any quarterback, and you continue to get these pedestrian quarterbacks in here.
Well, we have Rev with that talking the gridiron. He's very good. So I take what Rev says, and I do take that thing with it. So Casey, what do you think there? We getting the win today?
I agree with Brian. I don't see it, man. I think they're going.
All right, we're coming back down to earth for Casey.
I'm not back down to earth. It's just after the Panthers lost, it took a lot, and then maybe the A's shutting down for life. I think maybe it's just everything's just coming. All the walls are crumbling down around me. It's tough, and I even going back and watching things, and Like I believe the last time
You went back and watched that? How dare you?
the last game was the Raiders and Browns at the Coliseum was John Gruden's first win coming back, and that was a 45-42 win against Baker Mayfield-led Browns, and
Great defense.
The Raiders led Derek Carr. And, yeah, so I'm with you on this one, Brian, and a little bit of Daren, where maybe the negativity's running off, but I just without Mac Crosby, without Davonte Adams, I'm like, does the ship go down again? Like, is this how we're doing this again this year? It's tough. It's tough, fellas.
Okay. The good news,
the Browns have been
the Browns. Yes,
the Browns are very played Deshaun Watson. You guys have a chance to win this. I can see this being one of those games where Pierce just says we're pounding the ball and we're getting stops on defense. I could see like White and Madison getting 30 carries between the two. Like,
but we can't run, Tyler.
Yeah, 2 yards later,
just run away from Myles Garrett.
We're last in the league in rushing. We tried to.
We need Watson to throw a fumble or interception. We need to get like 2 defensive touchdowns.
If he throws
it's the Browns and Raiders. There could be new inventions. There's things that could happen. I always feel like this is
probably the 2 worst franchises maybe in the last 30 years.
I would say definitely the NFL.
A's have to be in there.
No, in football.
Leave the A's alone. We said
for football. Football wise, I would say
cardiac the Jaguars have to be in there. They've been pathetic.
Nah, they've made the playoffs the last 20 years.
So the Raiders.
The Raiders have made it twice.
How many of the Jaguars?
I would guarantee more than twice in 20 years. I bet it's at least been close to 8 or 9. I bet they've been in there quite a bit. Because remember, they were good at least in the early.
No, they had Gerard and left.
Yeah, they at least got in a playoffs.
Mark Brunell.
I guess
that was before the Raiders were bad, though. Mark Brunell.
I guess it would be the Commanders, Redskins, the Browns, and the Raiders would have to be the worst franchises in the last 20 years. It's probably not even. I mean, I got to think those are the worst there. If you looked at record-wise, maybe there's another.
The Lions are escaping with 1 playoff win.
The Lions might be in there too. Stafford at least got him to 500. It felt like a few times.
Jason Campbell.
You're right. Jason Campbell. Big deal. So they get the Raiders get there with that. Do you think Adams gets traded at the deadline, Casey?
Yeah, he's out. He's done.
He's out.
He's done. I don't know body language. He don't want to be there.
5th round pick for him.
Deshaun Jackson said it already for him. He didn't want it to. He probably shouldn't have said it, but I mean, you know how they. As much as he said they've never talked, and maybe they haven't. I'll take Davonte's word on it.
Wow, it's better than me on that one.
He's probably looking. He's like, he's in practice. Gardner Minshew. I'm not saying Gardner's like bottom 5 quarterbacks, but he's not Davonte Adams. He's not going to elevate him. Davonte's going to go the waste in Oakland, or, Las Vegas, so to speak. But it's just
called Oakland just for fun.
Dude, do you think Manning's little brother will be a Raider someday?
I don't know. I have this guy that actually we hired to be our teacher out of Texas. He's from Texas. He's a young guy. He's a big Longhorns fan. And I was talking about that, and he goes, "No, the Texas quarterback. What's the guy right now? Patrick Ewing or something like that?" Yeah, and he and he said he's way better than Manning. He said he's way better. So he says he thinks he'll be the top pick in the draft. So that's what he's a Texas fan. So
I agree that I think Quinn Ewers will be the top pick in this draft, but I still think Arch Manning's better. Like, that's how good Manning is.
Did you guys see that that catch and run by the Williams guy from Alabama last night?
Yeah, 17 years old.
That was like a juke. It felt like a Madden juke move where the guys like ran into each other after the spin move, and he like kind of takes off. I was like, man, what a play! That was
for a 17-year-old kid. That doesn't even seem legal.
Let's talk about that game. I don't want to talk about Raiders.
No, just that play was awesome. Maybe the Raiders could get Williams if we think enough. That would be he's got to play another year, right? For him to be
2 or 3 years. I don't know how many years.
So do you think Adams gets traded, Tyler, or do you think he plays out the year?
Well, yeah, Adams is a Jet in 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks.
Do we get a 4th rounder for him at least? Do we get a 4th round pick for him?
Maybe a 5th and then a 6th.
So somebody was playing that meme of the Willie walking at the chocolate factory saying like Adams right now, and then he gets to the Jets and he comes out with the cane and then does the somersault. And he's like, yeah. That's it. He gets to the Jets. I was like, that's a pretty good one. Are you guys just real quick? We talked numbers, but Brian, are you a little concerned about Aiyuk and this little? I'm not saying it's short, but it does give me these weird Monte Ellis Warrior vibes. Not with the moped, but there was like this disconnect after they signed him, and I was like, what the heck's going on? Antonio Brown, we're not there yet. He's not coming in on a. He's not coming in. We're not getting it. We're not freezing his feet yet. But what do you think?
Complaining about the helmets.
Are you a little bit concerned?
Yeah.
Let's say
I am concerned just because I feel like at this point Jennings has overtaken him as the number 2 receiver. So I don't know. I think Jennings has really stepped up, and he has a chance to be a very good receiver for us this year. So.
I mean, Jennings is good. I agree, but I'm not concerned about Aiyuk and his red shorts. I don't think it's a big deal. I think at
some point he needs to pick up his game. Make big catches.
Or that's what we're concerned about, and that's okay. He hasn't played great these first 3 games. I mean, he was wide open over the middle of the field, and Purdy decided to run around for 10 seconds. But
that was funny.
I mean, sometimes a good quarterback misses a read. It happens, but it also makes Aiyuk not have the numbers he could have had.
My son drew us a picture of sourdough Sam for you, Ryan. Good luck today. Good.
That's pretty cool.
You know that one. He also,
I really hope the Packers beat the living crap out of him.
Chops.
You should send that to Brian, and he could put it up next to his.
Brian, would you want sourdough Sam? Do you think Jimmy would like this one that he made? Who day? You got a little. Is it Garfield? I like it.
You should burn that on Talking the Gridiron.
There you go.
I think Jimmy's officially done with the Bengals.
He might be. I think tonight after, then I got to get my Cardinals one big red out here. So he's got that one on there. Derek's funny like that. This was this Raiders one.
Talented little artist.
It's just the helmet. It's like just the helmet basically with a little logo on it.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
So there's Derek with some of them there. I'll get the last one with it. Maybe Brian would want this one too. It's an Eagles one, Brian. Looks like it. Would you want that one next to sourdough Sam? You could have. His name is Swoop, Brian. That's the name of the Eagles. So if you ever were unsure of that, so
not Cheryl
Swoops, but no. So Derek, appreciate that. He wanted me to get his artwork on the
that's pretty cool.
on the screen. So I said, yeah, no, I'll get it on there for you.
Man, don't you? That's what the thing you gotta love about.
That was like my cardboard box that we were.
When you're that age, and it's funny, like, because when we were younger, we do baseball trivia of who's that batting average or, most home runs. And Derek, I love my nephew. He's like, come on, like, bring it on. Like, ask me a mascot. Like,
yeah, he'll know all.
He knows every mascot. Like, there is.
My God.
Like, and I forget which team. And I was like, what about them? He's like, they don't have one. I'm like, they don't have one. He's like, no, they don't have one. I'm like, well, if there's anyone that's going, I trust you that they do not have it.
The only thing that cracks me up is he'll do the ones like for hockey or whatever, and like he'll show me a picture and he's like, I don't know this one, but it will say like Florida Panthers on the jersey, and I'll be like, just look at the logo, just read the word on his chest, man. You can get the trivia question right there. So yeah, that was funny with it there. All right, so we both talked about that. The Niners getting trade drama there with it. Brian, what is your NBA fact of the week?
There's a big trade that happened. Towns is heading to the New York Knicks, and I think that's my NBA fact of the week. That Towns is out of Minnesota and heading to the Knicks.
Brian, do you know who he got traded for?
I can't pronounce the guy's name. I don't want to try to.
Orange Julius, Irving, and then you had, the guy that Mark
Davonte DiVincenzo.
Probably not happy.
Darren was afraid of it, Tyler. He didn't want
to.
Dante DiVincenzo. Say that 3 times fast.
Bill Simmons calls him DDV. I was like, come on, we can't be calling players like Dante DiVincenzo like these nicknames DDV. What the heck is this? What's going on with nicknames?
Do you like the trade though, Tyler, for the Knicks? Did it get better?
I liked it for both teams, to be honest. I think Dante DiVincenzo is a nice addition off the bench and gives them some scoring that they need, and Julius Randle can score the ball too. So I think Cat's the best overall player of the 3, so I like it for the Knicks, and they really needed a big desperately.
I don't think it makes Minnesota championship worthy in any way, though.
Yeah, but they weren't championship worthy before.
But you don't think Towns is better than they could? I'm just saying, is that?
I don't think he's carrying you for a big series. No,
it's just Edwards basically. He's the guy that's got to carry it.
Yeah.
Brian, a good NBA fact of the week. Casey,
I started the discussion, so
that's good. I appreciate that. You knew the Towns. I liked it. We got that in there. Casey, I'm kind of frustrated with the Warriors when I see a trade like this. Do something. I mean, they continue to do nothing. Nothing.
No, I like the offseason they've had.
I've hated it.
I'm with
They've
Tyler.
done nothing.
I'm with Tyler. I don't mind. I think doing nothing is better than doing something that's worth doing nothing. Like, yeah.
We'll trade Wiggins and give him. I don't know. Do something. What are we doing? Like,
they're waiting a year. They're gonna wait a year. I mean, wait the deadline. Right now, there's not a lot of moves they can make right now. To be honest with you.
I just think they added some guys who can actually know how to play basketball. Like Kyle Anderson. Is he the most gifted? No, but he knows how to play basketball. He can blend in with Draymond. Like they can get on the same wavelength. They're intelligent basketball players. And then like adding Buddy Hield, he can shoot. He's not going to give you much defensively, but he can be a spark plug at times. Like you need that type of player at times. And you hope Podziemski gets better and you hope Kuminga gets better. Like, are we championship level right now? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But I think we could develop if Pods get better, if Kuminga gets better. And then if Kevin Knox gives you 8 points off the bench,
my gosh, what dream world are you living in? Kevin Knox
scored 8 points a game last year.
I don't see that.
If Moody gets better, he averaged 7.2 last year.
If I don't see
Come on, I want this optimism with the 49ers. Flipping it up with the Warriors, man.
It's
I'm just saying I like what they did this offseason. I didn't say they're championship level. The Niners have a much better chance of winning the championship.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought they did. I was disappointed.
I already told you the Niners are going to win. That's as much optimism as you're going to get from me, brother. Like, hey, more than that, I can give you, my friend.
Dude, do you want to play the video, Darren? I saw Casey at a WNBA game. He was giving the wave. Want to play the video?
I haven't seen that one at Casey at a WNBA game.
I remember I sent you the video yesterday of the.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can get it up there because if you want to DM it to me, it'll be easier.
I'm just gonna poke some fun at Casey a little bit right now.
DM it to me, and that'll be easier for me to get it up on the text message with it. With it, yeah. So we have that with it. So we have the Warriors. Like I said, I think they could have done more. Brian, the NBA fact of the week here. We appreciate those little nuggets that we're getting along the way with it. Casey, you got a winner and loser of the week?
Well, I mean, the loser's pretty easy.
Pretty easy, yes, I agree. We spent the first half an hour on it, so we probably that John, you continue to be the loser. Yes, we continue.
Yes. I mean, I don't know.
Winner?
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to explain on that. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You guys can go for it.
How about your winner of the week? Do you have a winner by chance?
No, I don't. It's been a sad week, man. I really don't have a winner, to be honest. I told you this when we got home from the game. I don't think I've ever sulked or had like baby tears as like a grown man, like watching highlights where I felt kind of pathetic, like laying in bed. I was like, I got to turn off the phone before I actually really start crying. So
I was weirdly kind of thinking the same way a little bit. Like I know I was like, I'm not like in a bad way, but 7:30. Go ahead, T.
That's Brian after a week 3 regular season NFL loss. Baby.
They get a little too shot with that. Yeah.
I haven't lost the faith, Tyler. Come on.
You got it. Faithful. Stay faithful. Hey, Brian, what's your winner and loser of the week?
My loser of the week is the New York Mets, just blowing that game yesterday, and that Mets fan had a complete meltdown. I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Half the time I never can. Half the time I never can.
Break the tank.
He's always got like a hot dog in his mouth or something. You got a loser then, Brian, or a winner? I mean,
a winner. My winner of the week is going to be the Alabama Georgia game. Was down to the wires. It was great. I'll say that's a winner of the week.
Definitely, that one was a good winner of the week. Tyler, what do you got?
My loser of the week. What was it? I had it. Where the heck did it go? Loser of the week. I'll start with winners. He distracted me with Georgia, Alabama. His freshman receivers. That Jimmy Ryan Williams guy from Alabama is just spectacular at 17 years old. And then the Ohio State freshman Jeremiah Smith. Excuse me. This guy's a freak. He might be the best receiver in all of college football, and he's a freshman. I don't know if you watched his highlights. He had 2 one-handed catch, one of them for a touchdown. I was like, oh my God, how do you replace Marvin Williams or Marvin Harrison and you don't like lose that much? It's crazy. You should check him out.
remember your loser?
I'll remember it while you're talking.
All right. So
I remember my loser. Same game. Carson Beck, quarterback of Georgia. Yes, he came back to make the game interesting, but man, he looked bad at times. 3 interceptions. I don't like him as a first-round quarterback. I know some people have him in the top 5. Some people have him in the top 15. Him and Shedeur Sanders, I'm not a fan
of. I have for my loser of the week. It can go a lot of different directions. We'll just keep it there at the A's with it. It was the Raiders, obviously last week, just a pathetic week by them as well. They go into that discussion. Giants playing better, but their whole situation's been a mess this year. The Giants are losers. I'm kind of combining a lot of things.
They're losers for winning.
And then the Niners lose less. So the Bay Area, just in general, if you look at that area or teams that were associated with it, bad week overall. Last week we'll see if we can kind of pick it up a little bit there if the Giants or if the Niners and Raiders can pick it up. So loser of the week, I'd take the whole Bay Area last week and teams associated with it just because how bad they were with it. Let's go USA, Ryan. President Cup 2024 has been very entertaining. That's my winner. Fisher always and forever loser. I was thinking about you at the tailgates when we were out there. Thinking about those old tailgate days. I know you spent a lot of time there with it, Brian. So the winner of the week is actually
I was eating a whole box of Cheez-Its that I brought.
Yes, I love that part that you never forget the Cheez-Its. That's a good part of the game.
Don't bring Cheez-Its around me, especially with a little greenery around.
or you're in like. But when we were downing the beers and you got all the beer cans, you got a kick out of that.
You stomping the beer cans. That big foot coming down on those beer cans.
Brian was able to do like 2 at one time. I'm going to say winner of the week was able to go to that game. For me, that was the winner of the week. You're still able to have that experience one last time to go with the kids, all that stuff. So that's my winner of the week. And it was cool to have the Bay Area kind of in general reflect on it a little bit for a day. Just in general. So that was kind of cool to hear a lot of phone calls coming in. It was just a weird day because anybody that's a sports fan and has been to that place. I mean, Tyler, you were aware of it differently than other days. Like it was, right? It's just like you saw it more in your timeline. You saw it on the news more. So definitely a different day with that. So that's my winner of the week with it. Fatboy FadeAway Sports, episode 193. Good luck today, gentlemen, with our teams. See if we can get back on the winning track. So for Tyler McGurk, for Brian the Main Man Johnson, and Casey Breyer. We'll see you guys